Hello tankers and tankettes, welcome to more War Thunder. This is, I don't even know what version of the test server. Well, there's a version number up there, version 1.40.2.0, but I don't know how many iterations there have been of the test server thus far. With my hardware problems, I kind of got a bit behind in terms of keeping up with what was going on. So this is whatever version of the test server this is, and it's rank 4 vehicles this time round. So some of them will be slightly familiar because we've seen them before, although not so much on the German side, but there'll be a couple on the Soviets that I have actually played before, albeit different versions of. So there's a couple of changes. This is new, this pop-up menu here. There's always been a kind of a pop-up menu in terms of being able to change which tank is in a slot, but I think the rest of that's a new interface thing. The rest of it seems fairly well unchanged, and I couldn't buy all because I don't have enough. It gives you a few, but not that many. It's not like the World of Tanks test server where they give you oodles of gold to play around with. So we've got a pair of Tigers, which you'll recognise as the Aus B and then the Aus B with the Henschel turret. We've got an Aus A Panther, an Aus G Panther, a Jag Panther, and a Ferdi. And then for the Russians, we have a T-34-85, which I'm slightly surprised to see as a rank 4 vehicle, but maybe it's got a better 85mm gun. T-44, which I think will also be an 85mm gun, I'm not certain. IS-2, this time with 100mm, and there is in fact a IS-2 1944 version, which again 122mm gun. I think the one we saw last time had either an 85 or a 100mm gun. Su-85M, which is going to have presumably an improved gun over the Su-85. The Su-100, the ISU-122. So that is the IS chassis with 122mm gun, and the ISU-122S. So, I think we'll give the Germans a go first. We'll jump straight in. Wow, that wasn't much of a queue at all. I do apologise, I've got a bit of a frog in my throat at the moment, I don't know why. That's the Karelia map. The fact that we're slowly moving up the ranks in terms of the vehicles being tested, I mean, so far it is just the Germans and the Soviets, and I'm guessing those are going to be the vehicles that we launch with effectively, but it will be interesting to see exactly how close we are to open beta with all of this, because I think it's fairly polished what we have now. They're obviously still tweaking and working and making improvements. Tweaking and working, they are indeed twerking. No, I don't know why I made that joke. But, well, that guy's got now Panzer II-C. I didn't check the tech trees actually. There might have been more stuff on the tech trees. But what was I saying? Yeah, it looks fairly good, and I think even if it might not quite attain the well done, that's a rock, the player base that World of Tanks does, I think there will be a fair few people that will at least give it a go and maybe play it even if they play it a bit less often. So we're going to try and get to high ground. Well, you know, I know from there's no kind of armor indicator as yet in War Thunder. It doesn't tell you like what the armor is on the front of the tank and the sides and all that kind of thing. Or at least if it does, I haven't noticed it. It might just be I haven't noticed it. But obviously I know from World of Tanks that the front of this thing is rather well armoured, but the sides aren't so good, and it's also rather slow. It's basically the Tiger P chassis with a rather strong, frontally anyway, it's got a rather strong superstructure on top. And this will be the 88mm gun as well. So let's turn round, and there's an IS-2 over there. Oh, no, it's a little bit disorienting when you're in a tank destroyer anyway. It's actually probably easier, there we go, to zoom out and do this. Now this is quite a long range shot. I think I might have been spotted, but I'm not sure. Just reloading now. There we go. Another hit. I might as well fall back a little bit between... Oh yeah, I would say I'm spotted. Now, a new mechanic I've spotted. I don't know if it will let me do it. There we go. If you get damaged like that, it was the case that if you had track damaged, you could hit F8 and repair. They've actually now extended this to other damaged track modules. So you can see there, bottom left-hand corner, the black mark on the tank icon indicates that my radiator's damaged, and that is actually now being repaired. So you can now repair much more than you could before. Earlier versions of the test server, if your gun got knocked out or your turret traversed or whatever, that was it. You were effectively useless from that point. So we're just letting it repair. I'm gonna guess a damaged radiator badly affects your engine capability. And there we go, it's been repaired. It's now still, you know, it's still damaged, it's still red, but it's better than completely knocked out. There's another 30 down there. Can't tell which way he's looking. Oh, no, I just see an outline. That's a hit. And we can see he is a good 500 plus meters away. So the fighting ranges in this game can potentially be a lot further. Okay. Uh-oh. Okay, let's fall back. Not any rocks or anything behind me. I'm probably being spotted by planes and stuff, actually. There's a few people in there, reserve aircraft. I might at some point actually jump into a reserve aircraft in a later battle and show you how that mechanic works. But how it looks is that basically you get this area of the battlefield it's sort of quite obvious. They definitely know I'm here, where you are in terms of, and that missed. It's actually quite a small area of the entire battlefield. That's a T-44. That's not a T-44, that's a Panther. He's presumably going to try and flank me. Or he was, and then he got blown up by a Tiger II. So they no doubt know where I am. I don't think we're winning this one. There's one point that is uncaptured, one in our favour and one in the enemy's favour, so it's a case that we kind of aren't doing so well right now. Oh, this is right. Try leading the target. This guy's on the move. Oh, and of course he stopped. I'm sort of defending at the moment because, as we can see, whoa. Now, I've taken a few shots here. There's actually somebody approaching our spawn point. I don't think it's that guy. He's way off in the distance. Uh-oh. You see that? That's bad. If you're on fire at all, it will either knock out your ammo rack, or if your fuel tanks go up, you know, that's it, you've had it. You can't put a fire out once you've lit up like that. Should we try one of the Panthers, actually? Let's try the House of G. And let's try one of the camos, because there are various different camos available for each tank. So here we go, it's a kind of a dun coloured camo. And we're on the southern spawn point, so I wonder if I can get through the tank traps, actually. Probably not. I think there's a gap where you can get through there. Should we try and go for cap point B? This is actually fairly manoeuvrable. It's not like the low tiers where some of the tanks feel a bit... Whoa! Was that just from a rock? How odd. Well, my track just turned red just as I was driving along for no apparent reason. I think that was probably just a terrain bug. But these actually feel quite weighty. Well, comparatively. Compared to a Panzer 1C skidding around the battlefield. This feels a lot better. Yeah, I don't know what made my track turn red though. That was slightly odd. Oh, and you can't just knock over saplings. Also, there was a rock. Well, you can knock over saplings, it's just there was a rock. My rock recognition skills are really improving. Right, have I actually put myself in a dead end or something here? Wow. Okay, please bear with me while I have technical difficulties. I don't know this map very well. I've only played on the test server, I think, twice before. So we're talking a couple of hours of game time at most. Well, this is certainly a spot where I can snipe from. It's probably not a very good one. There's a guy down there. Can I get down here without getting caught on rocks? This is not really where I want to be. This is a feature of the game, is that you can drive quite a lot of places on the map where it's possible to get stuck, so it's like the onus is on you as the driver not to get... What the heck? Okay. I got shot from... Where did I get shot from? From there? From there? It's hard to tell! It would be nice if there was a marker so you could tell where you'd actually been shot from. I have no idea where that came from, to be honest. Actually, let's try one of the tigers. Let's try the tiger with the Henschel turret. The big tiger. Well, they're both big. We are not really doing so well, are we? We're just actually lost, just about. We'll have another go with the Russians and see how that goes. I can't say I've done much for this team, to be honest. I think I've actually failed to... You know, I hit a couple of targets with the Ferdy, but I didn't knock anyone out and I didn't do any critical damage, so that was that. So let's have a go with the Russians. Yeah, my score was pretty terrible on that. So there's a few more to choose from. Actually, let's just look at the tech tree first. Oh, the 38T is actually available as some reserve aircraft there as well. But it's not one that you have. So you have the 38T as a rank 1 vehicle, and then there's the, yeah. I imagine it's the same for the T-26, as always. I could actually... Yay, Panther 2C. Not quite Panther 1C, but close enough. Well, actually this time... Why did I do that? Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I can just... you know... It's not like it's my money anyway. I'm wasting. It's entirely gold that's... Eagles that are given with the test account. So... This time I'll actually jump into an aircraft to begin with, and it's mouse and keyboard controls, so I will suck, but it doesn't matter because, like I said, they're all reserve aircraft at the moment. So we see a lot more people playing the Germans right at this particular, you know, moment in the queue. So we'll give you some idea of what it looks like from the air, if I can actually remember how to control an aircraft with my keyboard. No respawn base to start. Oh. Okay, this isn't a map where you can... Okay. Okay. This happens, I think, with some maps if you don't have an actual air spawn point. If it's not connected to a larger map, then it just does this forever and ever. So, please bear with me while I restart the game. This is a known thing, it's just I didn't realise this was a map that didn't have that option. Okay, here we go, second time lucky. If we get the Karelia map, actually, that will then give me the opportunity to jump into a reserve aircraft and just fly around, and we'll see how the battlefield looks from the air. Kuban, I don't think this one does. No, this one doesn't. We've already established that this one doesn't, so let's just stick with tanks then. Some other time. We'll do aircraft some other time. I actually don't have the regular War Thunder game client installed yet. It's one thing I haven't been able to... I haven't had the time to re-download it. So, there's a couple of tanks that we can take out twice. We'll start off with the ISU, though. Let's go with the regular ISU. As you can see, it doesn't carry that much ammunition, but it's probably got quite a slow-firing gun. That doesn't have any camo to speak of. So, daytime battle. big chunky looking machine, but that's not a surprise. It's, well, we know basically how it looks from the game. Although it's not quite the same as the SU-152. It is the ISU-152. Or the 122, rather. So they sort of exist in World of Tanks as options on the way to the big guns, the 152s. In the case of the ISU, of course, it's the BL-10. I'm going to guess that's going to be at rank 5, the BL-10. That's a pretty beefy gun. I keep forgetting you can't. I'm so used to World of Tanks, you can turn whilst accelerating, but even with the simplified controls in this mode, it's still. You can kind of do it when you're at speed, but if you're on the spot, you basically just need to turn, and that's I think a lot more, you know, closely realistic to how tanks actually turn. When you're doing the full controls, which is what I was flailing around with the very first time I played this, it can take some getting used to because you have to change gears, and it gets quite confusing. Right, there's something over there someone's seen. I'm probably hideously exposed right now. Is that something I can hit? That's a long way away. God, you can see the trajectory of that shell. Okay, that missed. This is not a fast-firing shell, or a fast. It doesn't have a fast velocity, is what I'm saying. It's got the same wow, can't even speak. The airspeed velocity of a laden African swallow or something. Well, that joke just went horribly wrong, didn't it? Let's just not try and be, you know, funny ever. It's definitely a lot easier to turn when you're not scoped in, because there's no. I think that's one thing that they might add, is maybe some kind of hull position indicator when you're actually scoped in, because at the moment there is no way of telling except when you just hit the limit. Okay, there's something over there. Let's see if the old Mark 1 eyeball can spot what it is. Well, I'm not seeing them. They're well concealed. I will say, I actually had a quick look at this before I... Bit of a snapshot, did hit him. But I had a quick look, and because this had to be... well, this really does reverse slowly. It had to be more or less reinstalled. The default graphic settings had motion blur turned on, which, to be honest, looked kind of horrible. Right, this has got a long reload. Shall I just... I can't really go down the slope. I don't want to expose my sides, but good lord, this thing backs up slowly. I really haven't used terrain well here at all, though. I've put myself somewhere where the process of falling back is... Oh, there we go. Boom, ammunition. You have to... That's something I'm still getting my head around in this game, is actually parking yourself somewhere where you can use terrain correctly. I think just because the maps are so much bigger and you're fighting at much longer distances, like everything I've learned in World of Tanks, it kind of doesn't apply, so I'm starting from scratch, and I think that will be something a lot of people find. That's quite nice, the grass being kind of pushed out the way. It's kind of a neat effect. I'm obviously going to have to be a lot more careful about exposing my tank destroyers, especially. Right, is that something... I think there's terrain in the way there. And I still think the mini-map should be a heck of a lot bigger, or there should be a way to make it a lot bigger, because it's kind of hard to glean information from that right now. Alright, that might be something there. Even just in terms of it, you know, being able to figure out which parts of the mini-map, you know, what your gun arc is covering and that kind of thing. So information-wise, it could do better, but I think, as everybody points out in every single video of this, it is still very much, it's very beta, it's the closed beta. But given that it is the closed beta, you know, the base game, I think what's here is actually pretty good. It's fairly polished. It's just there's a lot of tweaking to do with details yet. A lot of small things to really nail that experience for the majority of users. So again, I am not contributing at all to this battle, but we are winning nonetheless. Well, this is going to be a total blind shot. God, those shells are really slow. But this is probably a bad idea actually, because we're kind of in the middle right now. Although, hopefully they'll spot that 30 before they spot me. The thing is not too bad in a straight line, but as we've already seen, it reverses incredibly slowly. And you have to be at a sort of a dead halt before you can effectively spin. It looks very good though, this game, I will say. I mean, look at this tank model. It looks really nice. I think they've done a very good job with that indeed. Of course, there's more to a game than how it just looks. The back end is as important, if, you know, not more important. Which is very much the philosophy behind games like Dwarf Fortress, which the user interface consists entirely of ASCII characters. And if you're wondering what ASCII is, it's ASCII. So that's how you say that, as far as I know. But that game has got incredibly deep gameplay, but the graphical interface it's basically letters and numbers in different colours. So that does require some dedication. I don't know why I'm specifically mentioning Dwarf Fortress, it's a good game. Yeah, we really, I have to say, most of the games so far on the test server have been like this. It's either a crushing win or a crushing defeat. There's no hard fought anything in between yet. But that's because no one knows what they're doing. I certainly don't know what I'm doing. And that's a hit. I'm not actually aiming for weak spots in any way, shape or form though. Oh, I got a kill assist with that one. So let's be kind of careful here. There's a T-44 there. There's an IS-2 up on that ridge. She's looking at me, and I'm still reloading, but oh, cannon barrel damaged. So let's fall back. Wow, that is quite a long repair time. I think we might actually win the battle before that point, but you never know.
Keep it up and victory will be ours.
I think, like I was saying though, this game is definitely going to require a lot of there's not necessarily that many transferable skills. Oh, this would be a perfect shot. Side of the turret, but my gun's still repairing. So I think a lot of people are going to have to learn from scratch. But there's also, let's take into account that I'm just not terribly good at this, full stop. War Thunder is not the game that I am best at in the world. Ground Forces is being no different. It also be oh, that's not good. Yeah, well, I can't shoot back, and now I'm immobilized, so this can only go one way. Oh wait, I can shoot. I'm confused. I thought my gun barrel was... Maybe it just makes me really inaccurate. That's odd. Okay. Even if your gun barrel is damaged, you can still shoot, apparently. A lot of these maps, also, it's quite hard to... It's not like you can... it's quite gentle terrain. It's not like it's... maybe kind of more exaggerated terrain of World of Tanks map. So it especially playing this in a tank destroyer, it's actually quite hard to make use of terrain, because a lot of it's... This is quite level, flat terrain, so it's not like I can just fire and fall back. It's like I fire and then I'm out in the open. So that makes it a lot trickier in terms of correct terrain use. Oh, there is something over there. No. Well, I was absolutely no use to the team whatsoever there, but I like what I see in terms of the small improvements. As we can see there, I was absolutely useless. But yeah, I think there's a lot going on here. I think it's by no means perfect, and I think a lot of people will at least enjoy playing it on occasion. I don't think it will have the same dedicated fan base that World of Tanks maybe does. But this is all kind of preliminary thoughts. It's hard to tell how many people who there's a fair few people that play the air combat portion already. If a lot of those people start doing the ground forces as well, it does remain to be seen. The one big unanswered question as of yet is the interaction between land vehicles and aircraft, because at the moment, like I've said, all that's available is the reserve aircraft, so it's kind of hard to tell from that because they're not exactly the best armed things. But I suspect what they're doing is they're nailing down the actual tank gameplay first before they start worrying about that, because that's once they've got that solid core down, they can then decide how to tweak it in terms of interactions between aircraft and tanks. So, if you enjoyed this look at the latest version of the test server, you can hit the like button. You can leave a comment below, and I will endeavour to answer any questions you might have about War Thunder. You can subscribe to my channel, and of course, as always, stay tuned for more.